Okay, so welcome to today's webinar, everyone. We are looking at Pipedrive Insights because there's some new features that have been rolled out that are very, very helpful. Something everyone has been asking for a long time, not least of all Moti. Before we kick off though, my name is Ben Fuller. I am a CRM and sales specialist. I sit on the Pipedrive Partner Leadership Group. I've been working in and around software and sales for a long time, let's put it that way. Moti are Pipedrive Global Partners of the Year. We're the #1 partner worldwide. Upcoming webinar. So this slide tells a little bit of a lie. Up the top of this slide should be point 3 there, API integrations and middleware. We're going to be taking a deep dive into this in the next webinar and really having a look at tools like Zapier, Make, Wacado, Soligo, the API, what you can do with Pipedrive's API, the Pipedrive Marketplace, our recommendations for the best native integrations, how to use OneDrive and SharePoint and Google Drive and all that type of stuff, how to integrate those things. So that's the next big webinar. Then we're going to have a break for Christmas. We're going to come back and have a look at the proposal and quote side of things. Relevant to today's session, a couple of quotes, as we always do. Disraeli, Mark Twain, number of other people have been credited with this particular quote. There are three kinds of lies: damned lies, and statistics. And because we're going to be having a deep dive into some statistics today, I thought I'd throw that one up there. This quote is also attributed to many, many different people. Smoking is one of the leading causes of all statistics. It's just something tickles my fancy for some reason. Liza Minnelli here, but many, many people are credited with that particular line. Okay, so what we're going to be looking at today, going to be having a look at the advanced tier reporting and professional tier reporting and the difference between the two so that everyone can understand what you get out of the professional tier that you don't get out of the advanced tier of Pipedrive. We're going to be having a look at the chart types inside of Pipedrive so that everyone understands what tools you've got at your disposal to build reports inside of Pipedrive. We're going to be touching very briefly on forecasting with Pipedrive. Now, I'm not going to go in and show how you build an accurate revenue forecast inside of Pipedrive because we've done it before, but we're going to be supplying a video for those of you that are interested and would like to have a look at that. We're going to touch very briefly on some marketing dashboards, and we're going to get into the big new features, which is the recurring revenue reporting. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to have a look at a product revenue forecast report and an installment and the installments feature. Okay, so advanced versus professional tier reporting, the differences. The reason I'm going to do a little bit on this is that this is the most common reason that businesses upgrade from advanced to professional tier. 90% of the time, this is the reason that you upgrade. And there is a significant difference between the advanced tier and the professional tier when it comes to reporting. So we're going to jump in and share screen now and just have a look at what these differences are. So while I'm waiting for my screen to come up here, there's two key differences. One is the ability to do revenue forecasting is available only on the professional tier of Pipedrive. The second one is custom fields are available on the professional tier of Pipedrive. Those two things are really important from a reporting perspective. So everyone can see my demo environment here. We're going to flick across to Pipedrive Insights. And we're just going to have a look at a salesperson's dashboard here. And we're going to scroll down. And we're going to have a look at this conversion rate report. Okay, conversion rate report for LinkedIn. Now, watch what happens when I click into here. Deal lead source is LinkedIn. That lead source field is a custom, in this particular instance, is a custom field on the system, right? Another example of a custom field might be industry. Industry is aviation, right? Industry is education, whatever that looks like. You can have all sorts of custom fields inside of Pipedrive, as everyone's aware. You can have date fields. You can have all of those main fields that we've been talking about, what products people might be interested in, all that type of thing. So if we dive in here and have a little bit of a look, These are all custom fields on the deal here. What competitors were we up against? All that type of stuff. On the professional tier, you can include that inside of the system. Now, one important thing that Ben Milligan, my colleague, pointed out the other day is these days now that Pipedrive has rolled out the source field, and that is this field here, everyone. So it's a group. If I click on manage sidebar sections and I add this source back in, you'll all be familiar with this because you were all being forced to use it, right? So this is this source field here. This now allows you to run lead source reports without being on the professional tier of Pipedrive. So do just keep that in mind. But all the other custom fields here, whether they're date fields, industry, referrer, country, software, whatever it is for you guys, you can only run reports against these on the professional tier of Pipedrive. The other reports that the professional tier of Pipedrive does are all of the revenue forecast reports, right? So these are the reports we're going to be looking at later today with the recurring revenue forecast reports, but it's also these type of reports, right? Cumulative revenue forecast reports, non-cumulative revenue forecast reports. Super important stuff for any business to have, right? And available on the professional tier of Pipedrive. Now, let's just dive back into the deck here. And I just want to point out a few other differences between advanced and professional for those of you on the call who might be considering the change. So the top few dot points there talk about what I was just speaking to. The enhanced reporting, so the reporting on custom fields, unlimited dashboards, that's a big one as well. So on professional tier of Pipedrive, you can have as many dashboards as you want. On the advanced tier, you can only have one dashboard. That is very restrictive. So being able to have multiple dashboards is super helpful. As we come down a little bit further in here, we've got the AI features. So this is going to become more and more important as these roll out and they become better than what they are now, I suppose. They're improving all the time and improving quite quickly. And so those AI features are available in the professional tier. The next one down, Smart Docs. This is the digital signing tool within a Pipedrive. Within Pipedrive, it's free of charge on the professional tier of Pipedrive, and it's an excellent lightweight digital signing tool. You can also produce automatically things like quotes and invoices and stuff like that. So it's very, very handy. Next point down, specialized custom fields. Now, this is a pretty big one. Read-only custom fields in the system. Pipeline specific custom fields, so fields that only show up in specific pipelines. If you've got a lot of custom fields in your system and you're on the advanced tier and you're feeling quite cluttered, moving to the professional tier allows you to have custom fields that are relevant to only that pipeline. Maybe you have a project management pipeline, maybe you have a renewals pipeline, visible in that pipeline without seeing all of the other clutter and guff from the other pipelines. Formula fields, so things like calculating gross profit, for argument's sake, on a particular deal, that type of thing. Any formula field where you need to calculate a number, that's available on the professional tier of Pipedrive as well. The last 3 points here, I'll flick through quite quickly. Round robin. So when a lead comes in, being able to automatically assign that lead to a certain person, a certain user, a certain agent, depending on a set of criteria. So if the leads come in from Queensland, give it to Ben Milligan because he's based in Queensland. Deal card customization. This is the ability to tweak what you can see in the deal card. So you might be able to set, for example, so that you can see the expected close date on all of your open deals inside of the system. That is also a pretty significant thing. And for me, at least, reason enough to change. It's super important for me in the way that I work. The final point there is twice as many automations. So a lot more automations available. For those of you who are running an automation heavy system, this can be quite helpful. There are some workarounds though where you can put automations in other accounts and things like that, but it can get a little bit messy. Okay, we're going to dive back into the system in a moment, but we're just going to have a look at what we're going to be having going through when we do dive in there. I want to set the scene here to show you the levers that you can pull when creating reports inside of the system. Now, there's not enough time on a webinar like this to take a deep dive into how to create reports in full, because every situation is different. Every business is different. Sure, how much did we sell each month and those type of reports? Very straightforward stuff, right? But Pipedrive is very powerful in the insight section, and you can create a lot of different type of reports. And these things here are the levers that you can pull. So we have the chart types, the column, bar, pie, number, and table. And then we have the report types: performance, conversion, duration, progress, and products. So let's dive in and have a little bit of a look around here. So as we move through this dashboard, we've got a lot of different types of reports here, right? So this top one here, this is a revenue forecast report. So this is a forecast report. This is a product report, right? So if I click into here, you can see it's not showing in this particular one. I'm just going to flick into a different report. Let's have a look in this one here. You can see the type of report here, right? So is this a performance report, a conversion report, a duration report, a progress, or a product report, right? You can also tell that this is a scorecard style report. So if we come in here, you can see this is highlighted with scorecards. So when we talk about the levers that we can pull when creating a report, the most common is performance, right? So how much or how many did we sell and when did we do it is generally like the overview of what a performance report gives you, right? Conversion report, what is our conversion rate? Now, this can be either take the form of a funnel or a pipeline style view, and I'll show you that in a second. Duration, how long does it take us to close a deal, for example? Progress, one of my favorite reports and one of the most underrated reports. What deals have moved this week or this month inside of the system, and products, which we're going to be going into when we look at the recurring side of things. So this here is a scorecard type style report. We could turn it into a column report, a bar chart, a pie chart, a scorecard, and a table. Now, a table is basically just a summary report showing us individual deals in a spreadsheet style view. Probably less common to view a system in that type of a report in that type of view. But if we click back into reports here and I scroll down the bottom, here you can see a table report, right? It's telling us one deal's past 12 months, and it allows me to sort them, for example, by deal value highest to lowest, for argument's sake, or by lead source and so on and so forth. So that's the table report. Directly above this, we have the pie chart reports, great for things like product segmentation, like what you're seeing here, or lost reasons reports like what you're seeing here. So if we dive into this one, again, this is a performance report, but we're looking at in a pie chart, what are our lost reasons? Why are we losing deals inside of the system? We've got this bar chart report here, right? Now, this could easily be a column report as well. And if you're wondering about when you should use bar charts and when you should use columns, basically, my rule of thumb, and this is not always right, but if it's date orientated, right? If the report contains dates, you can see here like the months of the year here, then a column chart is the best option. If the report is about a list of objects, for example, lost reasons, or a list of people, then a bar chart is generally, in my opinion, the best option. Play around with this. You can easily, like if we do this, right, we can flip this and change this into a column style report, right? It still works, I just think it's a little easier to sort of understand in this bar chart style view. Okay, we're going to come back up to our reports here. Discard those changes. We're going to click into, actually, let's go back into where we were. And we're going to talk about, it's not showing there. We're going to go back into a different one. We're going to go back into this one. And we're just going to talk about, we're going to have a look at the different reports here. And I want to focus specifically conversion, duration, and progress. We've sort of looked at the performance reports. Like I said, it's measuring the number or the value of deals. Now let's have a look at conversion, then duration, and then progress. So conversion is best demonstrated in this dashboard here. As I scroll down, these are conversion rate reports. There's two types of conversion rate reports. This is per pipeline, right? So this is on our new sales pipeline, and this is showing a conversion rate report for this pipeline, and it's showing a 53% close rate, and we can also see the chances of a deal moving from one stage to another. This is one type of conversion rate report. If we click into this, you can see that this is a funnel type report. So I select conversion, I select funnel. Now, if I come back in to that same dashboard and I come down and I look at this type of report here, right? This is still a conversion rate report, but it is showing us, in this case, industry conversion rate across all our different industries, right? Or in this one here, it's showing us the lead source conversion rate across all our different lead sources, right? So this is what's called a win-loss conversion rate report. This report here is a perfect example of a duration report, okay? So how long does it take us in this instance to close a deal? So with this duration report here, this is my favorite way to display it. You just use a scorecard. It's super simple, okay? If we just click into here, and the final report that we were going to look at is this progress report here. So let's just touch on that for a moment, because I think it's a really underutilized report within the system. So what you can see here in this progress report, this is the x-axis of the progress report. Now, the x-axis, when I talk about that, it's the horizontal axis of the report, right, running across the bottom. The y-axis is the vertical axis of the report running over here, right? So this is number of deals, and across the x-axis are the weeks of the year, okay? So what this tells us is the number of times a deal, any deal, has been progressed this week. So if I look at last week, from the 14th to the 20th of October, I can see when I click in, the deals that have been progressed and the stage that they are in now and the last stage change, right? Now, this is only showing me 17 deals here, and you might be wondering why this column here says 51. It's because those 17 deals have been progressed 51 times. This is critical for those of you who are running weekly or monthly sales whips and you want to see what has everyone been up to this week or this month, right? What deals have moved? What progress have we made as a sales team? This is the report that you should have set up to go through. One of the reports you should have set up to go through in your weekly sales whip, right? So look, that sort of touches on the levers that you can pull on the different types of reports and everything like that. So let's just duck back into the deck here, and I'm going to move on to, and then I'm not going to show this. We've done this in another webinar, but if you have reporting requirements that Pipedrive cannot cover, for example, you can't bring external data into Pipedrive, mix it with Pipedrive data and show it inside of Pipedrive Insights. However, we can create external reports for you where we might combine Google Ads reports or Google Ads data, LinkedIn data, Facebook data, for example, when we talk about marketing. You can combine that with Pipedrive data and display it in an external report, right? We do this for a lot of our larger, more complex clients that have more complex reporting requirements. If you do have complex reporting requirements and you're finding that Pipedrive's not meeting them or it's not capable of meeting them, just reach out to us. We can always help. There's two types of custom reports here. There is custom built from scratch that is unique to your business, and there's the marketing ROAS, return on ad spend report or dashboard that we build for a lot of clients. It's sort of an off-the-shelf product. Reach out if you've got any questions regarding those. Okay, revenue forecasting. I've just got this slide in here because if you haven't seen the revenue forecasting that we've been through a couple of times in other webinars, there's going to be a video included for this revenue forecasting and how to do it properly inside of Pipedrive so that you get accurate revenue forecasting. I'm not going to touch it again in this webinar because I don't want to bore the pants off everyone who's already seen it twice. Plus, it takes a little bit of time to describe correctly. Very good question, Tim, and a few months ago the answer to that question was no, but the answer to that question now is yes. So I might actually touch on that. So revenue forecasting, everyone, if you're interested in it, Amber and Ben, when we send out, we're going to supply the video and you should be able to do that. Now we're going to get on to the new features, but I think Tim's got a really good question here. So let's just dive back into the system for a moment. And I'm going to show you, Tim, how you can do this. So just going to wait for that to load up. Hopefully everyone can see that. So what Tim's asked here is, can the colors, can the segmentation of a pie chart, for example, or other chart be customized? Now, Tim, to be honest, I've never tried this with a pie chart, but we're about to see me either succeed or fail live on the webinar. But you can do it with a column chart like this, right? You click this button here. Now, one important thing, and thanks for reminding me of this, Tim, you can control the number of columns that you can see here. Now, this is super important for this exact report. Deals closed in the past 12 months. I have 13 columns here. Now, if I had what the default in Pipedrive is, which is only 12 columns, I would need to scroll to the right to see October 2024, right? So when we click here, we can control the number of columns. Also, and this is Tim's question, can we customize the color charts? And the answer is yes, right? So you can customize the segmentation in here like this. Now, Tim, live on this call, on this webinar, let's just see if we can do it with a pie chart. I come down here, I click into my pie chart, I click here, I can. There you go. So you can go through and set each one of these to a particular color, like what you're seeing me do there, and hit save. So there you go. We've all learned something today. Hopefully that answers your question there, Tim. So back into the deck, everyone. The new features in Pipedrive. This is really exciting. We've been asking for this for a long time now, for a number of years. If you're a SaaS business, whether you sell software like what Pipedrive does, right, or you sell big ticket SaaS, which is sort of maybe rather than selling a small amount by seat, for example, you sell $25,000 per annum over a number of years type thing, like that big ticket SaaS stuff. If you do like what Modi does, you take a 50% deposit and then 25% as a progress payment and then 25% upon completion. You now have the ability to accurately record that installment inside of Pipedrive from a forecast perspective and an actuals perspective. This is really a huge game changer. Previously, there was a revenue feature in Pipedrive, but it was not connected to other parts of the system. And I think a lot of you on the call probably found it, including myself and Ben Milligan, I know. We found it very frustrating to work within, right? They've done a really good job of fixing this. So if we have a quick look at this slide here, you have the ability to recognize future revenue and past, but future income across three types of revenue: one-time revenue, installment revenue, and recurring revenue. This is all driven by products. So you must have a product to make this feature work. You can't just enter a value in the deal value. You must select a product, and that product has to have a value. And then this feature works, right? So let's dive in, have a look at this. And here we go. Right, so I am in my standard demo account. I'm going to dive into any one of these deals here, and we're going to have a look at this new installment feature. So what you can see here is products, right? When I expand collapse here, we have our products, 50 yellow pancakes, right? And we have an installment section that is showing here. This is brand new. None of you will have seen this before, unless you've been playing around in your system in the last few days. Now, this has been rolled out to the vast majority of customers. If you don't have it rolled out to you, please reach out and we'll get it put straight in your system, but it should be in your system as of this week or last week. So this product section here has this new feature. When we come up here into products, if I click here like this, right, I've chosen a product, yellow pancakes, pack of 50. I have a price and I have a quantity, right? The price is 6,000. I click into the installments and you can see I've got installment 1 and installment 2. Okay. Now I could add another installment here, add installment 3, and I can change this to 2,000, change this to 2,000, and change this to 2,000. And I can set that this will be paid on the 1st of January for argument's sake. So this is being paid November, this is being paid December, and this is being paid January. I will show you in Insights in a moment how these actually reflect in the reporting inside of Insights. So we hit save on that. So we have our products and we've added them in here. We've added the installment value here, and we're going to close out. Now this is for Wiona, and this is Face Hattish Travel. Now, when I come down here into Insights, I'll show you 2 reports that I've built, right? This is a forecast report, and this is basically, for me at least, an actuals revenue report. You can also make it forecast. I'm going to dive into both of these for the moment. So let me click into here, show you the conditions. So deal product billing date is this year. Deal status is either won or open, indicating this is a forecast report. Deal revenue type is any of the deal revenues types, right? Recurring, installment, or one-time product. So when I want to create a report like this, I click on report. I come down to revenue forecast. I choose product revenue forecast. I hit continue. This will be the default report that you will see come into existence, right? Now, I'm going to go back into a deal here, because what I did was I showed you the installment side of things, right? Or the one-time payment side of things in this deal here. So in this Wiona deal here, we're going to go back into that, right? Now, if I change this to select a billing frequency, so what I need to do here is remove my installments, right? Come back into products, and I'm going to change the billing frequency to monthly, right? And I'm going to have my price at 120 and my quantity at 50 here. Now, when I change it to monthly, I can do it renew until cancelled, which means it goes on infinitum, out to infinity, forever and ever, or I can set a fixed number of billing cycles, 12 or maybe 24 or whatever that might look like, right? So I'm going to set 24 here. So I've got $6,000 per month over 24 months, gives me 144K. This is the recurring. When we talk about the 3 revenue types, the first one we looked at was installments. The second one we're looking at here, this is the recurring revenue type. And the third one is the one-time revenue, right, without installments. And so if I switch this back to one-time revenue, okay, and we're not using installments here, and I select a billing date of the 1st of November, for argument's sake, and hit save, this is now a one-time product, right? Just going to hit save on that. It's not liking the fact that I've overridden it. I'm just going to get out of that one, everyone. So when we come back into Insights here, this is the report that I've just created, right? And like I said, you come in here, you'll click report, you'll click revenue forecast, you'll click this button here, and this will immediately give you these conditions. It'll give you the status here as the segmentation. And in this case, we're looking at this year, right? Like this, okay? This is a forecast report going out over the months. The blue is the forecast, the green is the already won deals, and these are the different types of income that we're forecasting here. You were not able to do this previously inside of Pipedrive, right? You could not record your recurring revenue income or your installment income in these type of forecast reports, and this is a really big deal inside of the system. Let's just have a look at the other type of report here. Now, it is very similar to the report we were just looking at, but it's a product revenue report. The conditions are slightly different. I've edited the conditions here. The 2 edits that I've made are deal status is 1. So this is not a forecast report anymore. This is an actual. And I'm separating by revenue type here rather than status, which was one or open in the other report. I'm separating by revenue type. So show me my recurring product, show me my installment product, and show me my one-time product here. The one-time is in the orange. I'm not going to go into too much more detail here because I feel that these two reports will give most people most of what they need. This is your forecast report where you can forecast your recurring revenue out as far as you need to. This is your product report, which is showing you your actual split by your revenue type. There are a lot of different ways in which you can slice and dice the data here, but at the end of the day, these are the two most important, and this is the biggest change inside of Pipedrive. Now, it does take a little bit of getting used to when we talk about how this is set up within the system, right? I'm going to show you one thing here, which is, depending on how you look at it, either a good or a bad feature, okay? Now, when you come in here, like what we saw, we have the ability to set a billing frequency. If we select one time, we can choose installments. If we select, for example, a fixed number of billing cycles monthly or any number of billing cycles monthly, installments can no longer be chosen here, okay? And we have 12 cycles here at $6,000 per month. Now, if I come back here and choose one time, just going to hit save on that. I've overridden it again. I'm just going to leave it. Okay, now watch what happens down here. This is what I was doing. Sorry, I'm going to go back in here. At the moment, we have our 50 products here, right? And we have no installments. I'm going to go back into here and select installments. And I'm just going to put the 3 installments in here. Like this. And I'm going to go 2,000, 2,000. And I'm going to put 2,500 for the last one. Now, notice how the product value here is 6,000. The total installment value is 6,500. There is a difference. If I hit save, whoops, let's just put these numbers in. Sorry. That is October. Sorry, that is November. That is December. And this is January. When I go to save here, you get this warning. The total installments value does not match the total value of the one-time product, right? Pipedrive allows you to do this. Whether or not you think this is a good or bad thing really depends on your circumstance, but you do need to be aware that your salespeople have the ability to have the product value and the installment value offset so that they are different. In this case, I'm just going to change this so that they do balance, and I'm going to hit save. Now you can see down here the total installment value, the installment start date, the installment end date nicely summarized down here like this. Overall, guys, that is the new feature. It doesn't take too much explaining, but it is very, very powerful. It's going to apply for most businesses. It's going to allow a lot of you who are doing external calculations in Excel or Google Sheets and stuff like that from a forecast perspective to bring that forecasting inside of Pipedrive. It's going to allow you to have those discussions with your salespeople to let them know that they must be entering in the right products with the right dates and with the right installments and updating it all and everything like that, because you're relying on this from a revenue forecast perspective. There's more, hopefully some changes to come to this to improve it even further, but at the moment it's a really rock solid forecasting tool for recurring revenue, installments and one-time payments. That's about it for today, everyone. Are there any questions before I move out of the Pipedrive here and go back into the deck, which is just the last slide? Are there any questions that anyone has around the recurring revenue forecast reports that are now available inside of Pipedrive? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stop the share, duck back over into my deck. I don't know if I've got another slide or not, to be honest. Okay, well, that wasn't too exciting, was it? Okay, so the videos will be sent tomorrow. There's a few short videos coming your way. Because of the change in daylight saving, The webinar was offset by an hour. You guys wouldn't have noticed, but our team did notice. What it means is that the recording will not automatically be sent out. The recording will be sent out separately tomorrow. So if you're used to getting the recording straight away, it's going to take a day to get to you, and there'll be some more videos along the way. As Amber says, you'll send the video in a follow-up email today in about an hour. Wow, that's very quick. Okay. Thank you, Amber. Guys, thanks very much for joining. Any options for me to connect the insight? This is Will's got a question here. Any options for me to connect the insight reporting from Pipedrive to Power BI? Yeah, there's plenty of options as far as getting the data out of the system, Will. It really depends if you're looking for a direct connection to Power BI, or if you want to get it into a data lake, into a database first. Is your Power BI currently connected to a database, and are you mixing data from other sources into that database before rendering the information in Power BI? I suppose that's my first question before answering. Maybe, Will, I'll tell you what, flick me an email, Will, and we can probably have this discussion offline, because there's a number of different ways to approach this depending on exactly what you need. But my summary there, thank you very much, Ben Milligan, ben@modi.co. My summary there is like high level overview, but there's probably a few more questions that you've got. Cheers, mate. Okay, everyone, thank you very much. I really appreciate you coming. And have an awesome day. Reach out with any questions that you've got on this. Trial this. It's in all of your, should be nearly all of your systems. Play around with it. See if you can break it. Have fun with it. It's a really, really good tool. Thanks very much for watching.